everyone, this is Herrick bringing you another episode of Action Figure This Out. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified series, Snake Eyes from Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. Now, I picked this guy up at my local GameStop along with Sergeant Slaughter, which I will also be reviewing after this. This figure was at a discount, so I'm glad to actually pick this up as my first G.I. Joe. So before we get started, let's just take a quick look at the packaging here. Off the bat, you're going to see the figure through the window along with his accessories. He comes with a sword, a scabbard, and 2 knives with an extra head. It says G.I. Joe Classified Series, Snake Eyes at the bottom from Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, and a picture of Snake Eyes. On the side here, you're going to see it says Snake Eyes along with the number for this figure. On the back, you're going to see it says Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe Origins with a picture of Snake Eyes from that movie. On the side, you're going to see nothing except for the picture of the figure, along with the Arashikage symbol. On the top, you're going to see the number, along with the Arashikage symbol. And for anybody who needs it, here's the barcode at the bottom of the box. So perfect. Let's action figure this out and take a look at this figure out of the packaging. The mysterious Snake Eyes was trained at Military Assistance Command Vietnam, Recondo School, and served in Long-Range Reconnaissance Patrol in Southeast Asia with Stalker and Storm Shadow, eventually leaving the service to study martial arts with Storm Shadow's Arashikage Ninja Clan. So before we get started, let's just take a quick look at the height of this figure. So, in inches, Snake Eyes stands at around 6 inches, which roughly equates to around 15.5 centimeters. So right away, I'm just going to say that this figure is amazing. It looks so sleek and badass. I know that the movie isn't that good, but this style for Snake Eyes is so cool. I'm definitely not going to be using the unmasked head at all. So let's take a quick look at the accessories it comes with. So, Snake Eyes comes with 2 knives, as you can see here. They have a design on the blade, which is pretty decent. And the hilts have this knuckle duster cover for them. So they're pretty nice. He comes with a sword and a scabbard. Okay. So, sword looks pretty decent. It's got a nice design on it. And the hilt is nice. And the scabbard has a pretty cool design on it too. This is directly taken from the movie. So it looks exactly like it does in the movie, which you can port on his back with a peg right here. And he comes with a Henry Golding head. So this is a pretty nice head sculpt. It looks very much like the actor. So that's pretty cool. Again, like I said before, I'm definitely not going to be using the head at all. I'm going to have Snake Eyes with his mask on all the time. But it's a nice accessory to have. The hair is pretty well done. And the 5 o'clock shadow that he has looks pretty good. So this design for Snake Eyes is so cool. I am so happy I picked this figure up. Now, this is my first G.I. Joe figure in my collection, and I'm glad to have it. I never knew that G.I. Joes were this good. He has elite articulation. Not only does he have butterfly joints, but he also has a double ball peg in his waist, instead of just the traditional waist cut that swivels, so you can get him in many different cool poses with his articulation. He also has drop-down hips, which give him so much more range in his hip articulation, which I'm ecstatic about. As you know, I'm an articulation fiend, and I love me some good articulation. I'm happy to be on board with the G.I. Joe Classified team. The sculpting on this figure is something else. Like I said before, it's such a sleek design for the suit. His head sculpt is amazing, very detailed, and the visor looks great. As you can see, the visor looks amazing. He also has a bandolier over his chest to make it look like he's holding a sword up with it. So as you can see, the detail is just immaculate throughout the suit. You know, I know there's not much paint on here, but still, it looks amazing. Very tactical. Very, very tactical. I like it a lot. The suit itself is really nice, and it's pretty decent. Although I do have somewhat of a paint blemish here, I can scratch off. Alright. The chest piece looks really great for what it is, you know. So now that we've taken a closer look at this figure, let's take a look at his articulation. Alright, so in his neck and head, he has a disc hinge with a ball peg, which gives him the ability, he can't really look up too much, okay? Not much at all, but he can look almost all the way down, have his chin touch his chest. He can look side to side, no problem. And he doesn't have any tilt at all. For his shoulders, he has a butterfly joint, which doesn't give you too much range, but he can go forward this much, and he can go back this much. He has a hinge in his shoulder, which gives you the ability to almost do 90 degrees. He can go forward and back, no problem, all around. He has an upper bicep cut, which gives you the ability to do 360 rotation. A double jointed pinned elbow, which when you utilize both joints, you can get well over 90 degrees. And he has a vertical hinge in his wrist, which gives you the ability to rotate 360. And he can tip his wrist up like this and down like this. So that's pretty good for holding a sword. For his diaphragm cut, he has an ab crunch, okay, an upper ab crunch, which gives you the ability to bend forward this much. He can bend back this much, which is pretty decent. And he, like I said before, he has a ball peg in his waist, which gives you the ability to rotate 360 like this. He can bend forward this much, bend back this much. Together with that ab crunch, he can go far back and far forward. And he can lean side to side as well as rotate like this. He has drop down hips, which give you the ability to do the splits all the way, which is amazing. And he can kick forward this much. He can kick back this much. And he has an upper thigh cut, which gives you the ability to rotate 360 degrees. He has a double jointed pinned knee, which gives you the ability to kick all the way back. He doesn't have a boot cut, but he has a hinge at his ankle, which gives you the ability to kick back this far. He can kick up this far. And he has a forward-facing peg for a rocker. Pin for a rocker. So he can rock his ankles like this. So perfect. Now that we've taken a look at his articulation, let's see how he compares with other figures. Alright, so first we have Snake Eyes standing next to a few other martial arts masters. We have him standing next to the retro-carded Daredevil and Moon Knight. Alright, so now we have Snake Eyes standing next to a few other highly trained martial artists. We have him standing next to Bullseye from the Daredevil Man Without Fear 3-pack and Elektra from that same pack. Alright, so next we have Snake Eyes standing next to a few Wolverine Marvel Legends. We have the classic Wolverine from the retro card and the VHS Wolverine. Alright, so now we have him standing next to a few other ninja-like characters. We have him standing next to the Mafex, the Dark Knight version 3, and the DC Multiverse Red Hood. Alright, so I think that's going to be about it for today. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Action Figure This Out, where we took a look at the G.I. Joe Classified series, Snake Eyes from Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews of your favorite action figures. As well, don't hesitate to leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite version of Snake Eyes? And what's your favorite character in the G.I. Joe universe? Again, this is Herrick from Action Figure This Out, signing off.